Oh my goodness! Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look, it's
I
fine.
love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video, man. And in this video, we gotta talk about the boy Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. Recently, he has done an interview with Alex Jones, and let me just tell you off rip, it's crazy, right? So like, Ye's out here saying crazy things. Now, before we even get into Ye, I do like Kanye West. I don't think Ye is all that crazy. I think most stuff that he says is pretty spot on, especially about the Jewish thing. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But this Alex Jones interview, the thing about Kanye is, or Ye, whatever you want to call him, I'm calling him Kanye. The thing about Kanye is he has a hard time of staying on track with his thoughts. And so when he's given a valid point, like he'll say, the sky is blue, apples are red, and like I was on the bus yesterday and we went golfing, and then I sat down with Trump and Nick Fuentes came, and they're trying to make me broke. Like I was a billionaire and they canceled me. And I was thinking about the pornography and the deception of Jeffrey Epstein's island, and it's like, what is he saying? And so people kind of lose track and say like, oh, Ye is crazy. But when you actually sit down and listen to the stuff he says, dissect it, take the truths that are there, or if everything's just nonsense, discard it. But most of the time, it's like, he makes sense. Like, he really does. Now, what we're going to do here, like I said, is clips going around of Kanye talking to Alex Jones, because he was on Alex Jones' podcast, like I said. And you guys just have to watch the video for yourselves. I think that, Ye isn't crazy. I think it all really makes sense. So what we'll do is we'll just watch the videos that we see on Twitter, and we'll all just talk about it, because I do think they're funny, as like there's truth to what he's saying. It's also funny, and there's a lot more that I'm getting this from this dude's page. His name is Anomaly. There's a lot more to what's being said. But before we even get into this, Ye does talk about Nazis and Hitler, and the mainstream media is mainly going to focus on that. They're not going to hear anything else he said, but we'll watch the clips for ourselves, go through and just see what we think. Feel me? Cool. Let's get it.
Because they've been frozen by the Jewish banks. So I need to watch my meals.
Well, CNN says white people are evil Nazis, so I mean, I disagree with both statements, but I get the
frozen. I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at.
Oh my goodness!
Even he's laughing. Like, I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. We need to look at, but we'll keep going.
Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. Look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Even Alex Jones is like, okay. Yeah. Look at his face. All he can do is just nervous laugh.
Oh man. Well, I have to disagree with that. But listen, we're gonna go to break. I'm the crazy one here. We're all crazy. The whole world.
Exactly. So like when you have two people that are all saying crazy things, it's like, who seems crazy? The guy that's saying I love Jewish people and I love Nazis, or the one who comes out saying like they're making the frogs gay, which they are. But we'll keep going with another clip.
Nazi-like activities I've seen.
Let's go back.
I've said it, the most Nazi-like activities I've seen, and the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down to a lot of really bad things.
But they did good things too. We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay. We're going to get...
He said the Nazis were thugs and shut down things, did different things that Kanye said, but they did good things too. We're not going to just keep talking about the Nazis. Now, history is usually told by the victors and stuff like that. So, maybe there is some hidden secret knowledge we don't know about the Nazis. I do know that Hitler and the Nazis did create NASA. They designed the logo of NASA. And underneath Operation Paperclip, the U.S. government hired a bunch of the Nazi scientists to be in America and work for them, so that way countries like Russia or China wouldn't get them. Now, that is true. That's facts. I may be a little off about the, Hitler coming up with the NASA logo, or it's founded by, Nazi scientists. But I'm highly done my research where I think that is true. But let's keep going.
Well, I am worried about.
Okay.
Well, that's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well,
Yeah, we can't compare Kanye to Hitler or Nazis because Hitler and the Nazis actually did the act. Kanye is just saying the Jews run everything, which isn't a crime to say. I mean, it's just freedom of speech. But as you hear here from this clip, he even goes, well, like, I think I might be him. So let's go back.
Well, that's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician, you can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that.
Let's see if Kanye's speaking fickety facts, right? Let's go to Google. Did Hitler create the highway? Hitler's Autobahn construction began in September 1933 under the direction of Chief Engineer Fritz Todt. So Fritz Todt was actually the chief engineer of it. The 14-mile expressway, well, he developed, it looks like Hitler was part of the Autobahn, not the highway. Konrad Adenauer, who managed to finance and construct the first railroads. All right, let's see. Did Hitler create the microphone? It looks like they're changing quickly. Looks like people are on here about Kanye. I can't even get real information no more. Let's see. Let's do some research. Spellbinding and crooning. I'm not reading this. I'm personally not going to do it. So we're just going to keep on listening to what Ye has to say. Well, we already see the Autobahn was maybe like part of what Hitler said. Like, oh, let's build it, but he never created it.
I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one?
I mean, every human does have the capability to bring good and bad to the tables. I don't really know if Hitler brought anything good to the table. I really don't. I that's where I think he may be reaching so hard he foul, Kanye, foul.
Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you gonna do anything to fix Chicago?
Well, I am worried about the thousands of black folks.
How did he go from Hitler to Chicago?
Let's keep going. Chicago, but let me expand on it, because that's a nuance.
That was
issue.
weird.
You know, my grandfather,
Nick Fuentes is just sitting there.
Grew up in Dallas from a pretty wealthy family.
Also, Hitler was born Christian.
Well, I've studied some of the history on it, but it's fair.
Even if Hitler was born Christian, a bunch of people are born Christian. They stray away from the religion, and they go do some other type of crazy acts. Like maybe he was born a Christian and he went to go become a serial killer. You know, that doesn't really mean he's good just because he was born Christian. You feel me? Let's keep going.
Very interesting. My grandfather, grew up, and actually some of his family spoke some German. There's a lot of Germans in Texas. But did you know that he grew up next door to the inventor of air conditioning and the inventor of one of the major inventors of refrigeration? And so my issue was, growing up, my grandfather told me the stories about some of the inside baseball and the things that went on. But later I'm going to get into that. I'm going to tell you some stuff about Hitler that you might not know directly that happened to my people I knew.
I'd love to hear everything, because guess what? We don't get to hear. It's hidden.
He really got a point there. I haven't really seen many of these Kanye clips, but he kind of got a point. Like, the only thing I really know about Hitler is he was one of the ones who led the Nazis to commit the Holocaust, World War II. Hitler was a bad person. They were experimenting on the Jews. They were killing the Jews. They were gassing the Jews. But that's all you hear. You don't hear the other stories. No one wants to talk about it. You can't talk about it, It's not out there. It's like hidden news. Like, you don't know what Hitler did. I guess what Kanye's saying, and I'm not trying to co-sign for Kanye or be on Kanye's side. I'm just saying Kanye has a point when he says we don't know the other information about Hitler because it's hidden. They only tell us Holocaust, Nazis, killing them, genocide.
Like our truth, the fact that African Americans were in America before the Pilgrims, that truth is hidden.
I knew that. My whole thing about slavery, right, is I tell people all the time, how could the white man go to Africa, buy the slaves from the black man, take a boat that took a year or so or more to drive us drive us over to America, drop us off, and not everybody dies. Not only from the Europeans having different diseases, but just the trip alone, no food and water, none of that. Because some of us were already here. Think about it. Is it easier to enslave, the people that were already here? Or go over there, use your money, get a boat, round them up, bring them over. Hopefully they all survive and then use them as they're already weak and feeble to do manual labor. That has never made sense to me. I'm not gonna lie. That has never made sense. It only makes sense that we were already here. And when they got here, they said, we're going to make them do manual labor. Because they'd have to feed them and get them back healthy just to work. Or otherwise, they just die from exhaustion. They just did the whole boat ride in terrible conditions. Like 1 + 1 not equaling 2. But let's keep going with the video.
That we are actually the Native Americans or some of...
Yeah. Black people are the Native Americans. We were here with the Native Americans. That's why Native Americans owned slaves. Native Americans weren't buying slaves from the white man. Native Americans were getting slaves that were already here and making them slaves. They took a boat over there to Africa and bought them from the black. No, it doesn't work like that.
Of us are Native. Or the fact that what Kyrie got in trouble is pointing out that we're Jewish slave boats. And then...
Well, look at Australia. Yeah. They've done some of the genetic typing of the Aborigines there. They're basically Africans.
There you go. So all...
I didn't know that. I don't think Ye knew that either. He just said, there you go, because, the point went with his point. But let's keep going to the next one.
Feel your advertisement. And my take on that is, there's one place in the Bible where it says God sees sin differently. And there's another place where it says... let me get out my phone.
Yeah, let's get out that phone, yeah.
Really pull up
that verse, boy.
In the Bible. The general gist, and we'll get back to it after the 5-minute break, is that you have to...
I've heard Nick Winter speak it all.
Stay strict.
You know what I like about this interview? Alex Jones is letting the man speak. He's letting him ramble, and when he needs to talk, he talks at the moments that it makes the most sense. He's not just cut him off saying, invalid. Like, Alex Jones knows he's been canceled for freedom of speech so much to the fact that from his Infowars.com, he allows his guests just to speak. Even if it's not true, at least we can hear what they have to say. And then the public can decide he's a crackhead or he's making sense. He's telling the truth.
To everything and remove as much sin as possible in order to serve God. And when people look at pornography, when a grown man is looking at a grown woman have sex on camera, you're still looking at someone's daughter, and you're looking at a lot of times someone that is the product of pedophilia.
Might be right.
So people will engage in going to strip clubs or looking at pornography, but then the moral compass is like, oh my God, look at the pedophiles. But in a way, anybody who looks at pornography is a form of a pedophile also. Let's bank it all in. It's very simple. We're not going to be talking about all this more.
I don't know about that yet. Because, if you watching porn and it's like they're 18 or above 16, whatever the age of consent is, the most it would be is like nudity or like adultery. Even looking at a woman if, in a sexualized way or something like that. But pornography, I can see where porn leads to pedophilia or leads to sex trafficking, stuff like that, and why those would be connected. But watching porn means you're doing pedophilia. I don't think so.
Code,
but that's just my opinion.
Right here is either Christ said so or Christ said no.
Yeah, powerful information. I totally agree with you. Back in 60 seconds, to join over 400.
Christ either said yay or no.
Now you got God's warriors coming together. Right now, okay, Nick Fuentes doesn't have a Twitter account. Alex Jones doesn't have a Twitter account. But hey, guess what, Elon? I got a Twitter. And today I'm going to have Nick and Alex tweet from my account. You like that, Ari Emanuel?
I'm all about free speech.
Man said he gonna shatter the Matrix.
That's why it comes first.
Ye said I'm a glitch in the Matrix, and now he gonna full out. He's like Neo when Agent Smith was literally stabbing everybody in the chest and turning them into him, and then they were all fighting Neo, and he was fighting them all. That's what's happening here. He's fighting the Matrix.
First Amendment. Yeah. Anybody trying to take your speech is the enemy.
Duh. It's so funny because our founding fathers were, I say this all the time, the founding fathers were so smart for creating the Constitution, the right to the freedom of speech, you know, the right to bear arms. Like, and they did them in order. It's like if you lose the first two, you don't have the rest. You don't. Like, even the one of the right not to, you know, have the government just come and just walk in your door and just stay in your house. How do you stop that from happening? I mean, if you got a gun and you tell them no, and they want to do it anyway, then you get silly. But they speak in facts. Anyone who's trying to infringe upon your freedom of speech, bro, is the enemy. That's real life. Whether you agree with their opinion, whether you agree with how they view things, they the enemy. Let's keep going.
Absolutely. Well, and it's I do find it a little bit hypocritical that Elon Musk said that he was purchasing Twitter to create a free speech environment. He says that free speech is the thing that's going to save the West and our civilization. But yet he has taken exception to you, Alex, for some seemingly specific reason, maybe personal to him, but definitely not principled. So I think it's time that the people finally demand a real victory here. We've been at war, essentially, since Trump came down the golden escalator 7 years ago to put America first, to put Christ first, to free the internet and do these kinds of things.
Nick Fuentes is speaking facts too. I mean, for real, like when you think about it, okay, if you have the right to freedom of speech, right, then, and you say you're going to be free speech absolutist, then everybody has to be able to get free speech. It can't be picking and choosing who gets free speech and who doesn't. It has to be everybody across the board, no matter what. But when you pick and choose, no, this person can't come. Nah, this person can't. And Alex Jones is a different case because I think advertisers are probably like, yo, you bring him back, we can't rock with it at all. But I still think Elon should do it. He bought it. I mean, if he he go negative on his investment, oh well. There are no shareholders. You don't have to do what's best for the shareholder. You don't have to do what's best for the board. He's the only shareholder. His pocket's only one's hurting. He put $44 billion down. Whether his investment goes down the toilet or not, he put $44 billion down. He has that to lose, and he will gain it back. Bring everybody back. If the advertisers leave, let them leave. Twitter not gonna go down. What? Come on.
And here we are all this time later, and it seems like we've stagnated or in some ways maybe even taken a step back. So it's time that people demand, we want Christ first, we want America first, we want Alex Jones back on Twitter. These are just and reasonable demands.
Well, I see it like this, and I want you to be able to elaborate on this, but I don't want Ye to get his run because he's got so much to say and he always gets cut off, but I'm going to try to shut up as much, but we can go 4 or 5 hours if you want, but the main show's actually 4 hours long. I was just hoping for 3. We'll do 4 hours if you guys are up for it, but
let's go to Ye's Twitter and see if I think I did see that Alex Jones was tweeting. Let's see. Stalin and Hitler were both Time Magazine Man of the Year. Alyssa Milano switched from a Tesla to a car funded by Nazis. Millions of people wear NASA gear, and it was pioneered by Werner von Braun. I told you, some of the Nazis and stuff, they created NASA's logo. They created NASA. They work in NASA. Like, let me see. Let's see. I love the First Amendment. Long live Ye. I pray to Jesus that Elon is for real. Jesus is king. Alex Jones. Investigate the civil rights and due process violations of the January 6th political prisoners. Free Alex, free niggas, blah, blah, blah. Christ is king. Yeah, I think that was tweeted by Alex Jones and them, especially right here when he signed it. But
I need to watch my meals.
well, see you next.
Yeah, but we saw that clip or so. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, man. It looks like Kanye, you know, he's going out here doing a world tour of interviews, saying what he want to say, you know, whether I agree with most of his points or not. Yay being yay. Let the man talk. I mean, there's no reason to try to censor and beat around the bush, especially like it's good that he went to Alex Jones for me personally because he's able to say what he wants to say, whether people agree with him or not, you know. And you can watch the full interview probably on Infowars.com where they probably going for hours and hours and they really probably getting some stuff said. But yeah, you really just got to kind of take it in stride, I guess, you know. Kanye, he's lost most of the riches he acquired through all his fame, celebrityism. He says that, you know, God's stripping him of everything. And I kid you not, when I started going through my awakening, everything was getting stripped, especially when I stood out and said, you know, I'm voting for Trump. And I felt like God told me to do this and God told me. People left my side. I was losing everything. Now, God's restoring me with who's supposed to be there, what I'm supposed to have. And I can just give him all the glory. But yeah, man, leave a like down below. Well, you don't actually have to leave a like. I don't care what you do. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. If you think Kanye's crazy, he's off the deep end or what. And as always, it's been your boy Chad and I'm out. Peace.